Let's just start by asking the very important question. In today's world, with a vibrant, dynamic market, sustainability of your success is a big question mark. And the bigger challenge is the path to growth, career growth. Now, all of us may consider different solutions to this and say, oh, okay, I have wasta, so what? I have my friends working in the HR department. I'm going to find a job. Oh, I was lucky enough to get studied in US or UK. I'm an expert in this field or that field. But is that all enough for us to guarantee growth? And I think this is what is the crucial question. What do we need as tools to increase our value, individual value in the marketplace? And I'm here to share with you facts about what could be an eye opener to me and to most of us today. So let me begin by saying, how can I increase my value in the market? Now, according to a study by the Harvard University, along with different research centers, including Stanford, they realized that 85% of the success on the job is from soft skills. 85% is a soft skill. So even if I am a scientist at NASA with a unique qualities of technical know-how, that is only 15% success factor on the job. And that basically reminds me of, at times at work, how a manager or a director or a leader could have years of experience in so many companies, yet he fails to communicate with his team members. Yet we suffer to understand what is going on in the head of this manager or this senior person. So that is one side of the example. I'll give you another side of the example. During the university time, when we had subjects to study, there were either professors, lecturers who made us love this subject, and on the contrary, there were subjects that we hated to study. Now, has the subject changed? No. Has the content changed? No. Has the classroom changed? No. So what has changed? It's the communication strength and the abilities of that individual to share the knowledge in a proper domain. Having that said, and if Harvard and the Stanford and all these research foundations confirm that 85% we need soft skills to guarantee success on job, what are these? What are these 85% of soft skills? Well, according to LinkedIn 2018 Emerging Jobs Report, majority of these soft skills were oral communication, leadership, and time management. So there is so many soft skills area that we can learn, how to have a creative thinking, goal setting, this and that. But the most three important factors in a soft skill we need to succeed in our job, which basically represents 85% of our profile, competencies, and abilities, are oral communication, leadership, and time management. Now, the question is, the second question. The question is, where am I going to find these skills? Now, I tell you, as a professional in the learning and development, I've conducted soft skill trainings, and I still do, to a lot of corporate accounts. And I must tell you, it is a budget of around, say, if it's a 5 days course or a 3 days course, it's anything between 1,000 to 1,500 riyal times number of trainees that attends. and that money comes to me. So I get a chunk of, say, 15, 20,000 riyal for a training course. Now, that is a big investment for any organization, whether it's a communication, it's a time management, or whatever it is. How can I achieve these trainings with a less investment? That's only one part. I'm going to share with you another crucial part of this factor. Now, learning process, gaining information does not confirm or assure you of having developed competencies. Knowledge is just a knowledge unless we turn that knowledge into a competency, into an ability. And for us to do that, we need to practice. The solution that I'm about to share, which is the title of why we are all here, basically provides both domains. It gives you the knowledge and it gives you enough capabilities and enough resources to change that knowledge into an ability or a competency through practice in a healthy, friendly environment and a constructive feedback environment to practice and change what we have learned and transfer that into a strength, an ability, and a competency. And this is why we are here as Toastmasters. Now, most of you already know Toastmasters have been since 1924, almost 100 years now. Toastmaster has been the world's biggest or one of the biggest organizations in a long-term learning process as a non-profit educational institute based in US. Today, they are in 145 countries, serving more than 16,000 clubs. Majority of the clubs are in English language. However, there are also Arabic language. In fact, here in Saudi Arabia, we have also Arabic language Toastmasters Club. So if we believe Toastmasters is the perfect solution for corporations and for individuals to develop themselves in the soft skills, can you confirm, Salim Hakim, who are the top leaders who have already started this learning environment into their organization? Well, 60% of the 500 Fortune companies have already started a Toastmasters club. And to name few, I'm going to share with you some examples. These are some of the brands that already have a Toastmasters club in their organization: Amazon, Apple, AT&T, Bank of America, Caterpillar, and the list goes on. What about Saudi Arabia? Are there any corporate clubs in Saudi Arabia? So many successful corporate clubs are also in Saudi Arabia, starting from Aramco back in 1976. Today, I believe Aramco has more than 20 clubs. You have Mobile, STC, telecommunication industry, educational industries, hospitality industries, health industries. Most of them have a successful running Toastmasters club. Let us hear some of the evidence from those who have tried Toastmasters.
Mr. Salim, the audio
Can you hear the voice or no?
Not yet. We cannot hear the audio.
Okay, I'm going to share this again with audio, sharing the audio, yes. Let me request the ladies just stop for a minute while I reshare again. Okay, gentlemen, I'm about to go again. Can you see the screen now? Let's hear to the lady what she has to say.
Toastmasters is a platform where you can cultivate, that teaches you how to cultivate courage by not only embracing your strengths, but also your vulnerabilities. So that when you get out and when you start speaking in the real world and trying to impact lives, you're actually able to exude all of the qualities of a true leader.
There's little clubs that are going on all over the world in every city, every time of the day, helping people nurture their self-confidence, grow, develop their communication and leadership.
Every meeting you learn something new, and it's entertaining, it's fun, it's a learning opportunity.
It's a place to practice speaking. It's kind of like a gym for public speaking, if you will.
Each and every member in the organization I meet is positive. They are always there to encourage you, they're always there to guide you, to support you.
This is probably the best thing that you can do for your career. Communication, no matter what job you have, communication is key.
What has surprised me the most about joining Toastmasters was how it revealed things that I never thought I could do. I never thought I could write. I never thought I could speak in public. I never thought I could control my voice.
I realized that even though I joined Toastmasters to become a better communicator, that I've become an accidental leader.
Knowing that you have that power and ability to make other people better is really humbling and is very empowering at the same time.
Don't say no. Try it. Go to a meeting and spend the time to really appreciate what the meeting has to offer you, what Toastmasters has to offer.
I am able to see improvement in everything that I do. The more I do the roles, the more I do the speeches, I realize that I am better at what I'm doing. So that's why I keep coming back.
So these were just some of the testimonials of those who have lived and mastered and enhance themselves and their capabilities through Toastmasters. To look very quickly, what are the types of clubs that offer in Toastmasters? Now, in general, there are four major categories. There are the community ones, the open Toastmasters club, where members of either corporate industry or students can join them, or there are specific college clubs or the corporate clubs. Now, the corporate clubs could be either a closed corporate club for the company themselves, or it could be a corporate club with a possibility to invite members from outside the company and the government agencies. What are the benefits of corporate clubs, and why corporate clubs are a success factor in Toastmasters? Now, in the past 18 months, there were more than 1,000 corporate Toastmasters clubs were formed around the world. In LinkedIn 2019, talent professionals and hiring managers agree that people who possess a strong soft skills are the true factors for hiring. And 92% of these people confirmed. 89% of hiring managers feel that bad hires are due typically to bad soft skills. What are the benefits we entail when we get a corporate club inside the organization? The first and the most important thing is sharpening the presentation skills. You know, today, presentation skills is a part of major reporting cycle internally. When a manager is sitting with the board members, when an employee presenting a report to his manager, when group of teamwork are presenting their reports or project status to the other departments, everything is done through the presentation skills median. And therefore, sharpening the presentation skills is one of the tools that we practice in Toastmasters. Enhance the listening skills. Now, by far the most important thing we are taught in Toastmasters, whether it's a leadership role or it's a speaking position, the most important part is how we can improve our listening skills. And I tell you today, no matter how fluent a person can be, if they do not have the professional and the capacity and the ability to be good listeners, these people usually do not create a healthy communication bridge with their listeners. Conduct effective meetings. It's all about time management. It's all about task distribution. It's all about organizing the agenda, who comes first, who comes second, who comes third. And all of that are being practiced in typical Toastmaster meetings. Boost team collaboration. See, a club meeting, no matter how successful, how veteran this Toastmaster is, cannot run the meeting alone, cannot run the club alone, cannot run the district role alone. Therefore, he needs to have a team, and that team will build among them the trust, the harmony, the perfect method for a collaboration. And guide successful teams. We leaders are grown from within the Toastmaster fraternity to take up further roles in district, in club officer roles, and to perform better leader within the Toastmaster and practice the same learning outside the Toastmasters. So if we were to summarize the entire Toastmasters in a nutshell, what would that be? These are some of the major and most important blocks where we as individual or as corporate industries gain from having such experience. So improve the public speaking, build leadership skills, maximize the potential, enjoy unlimited personal growth, build self-confidence, gain a competitive advantage in the workplace, practice writing, speaking, and presenting in a group, and work on networking in a small and supportive environment. A message from the Senior President of Toastmasters.
Hello, and welcome to Toastmasters. I am your International President, Lark Doley. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Toastmasters. You have chosen to embark upon an empowering experience, and I congratulate you on taking this important step in your self-development. For more than 94 years, Toastmasters has helped people just like you and me to become more confident communicators and effective leaders. It is indeed where leaders are made.
Now I have another 300 slides left to entertain the rest of your day, but without having that difficult part and going through me talking for the rest of the day, I would like now to hand over the very important part of the presentation, which is the educational part, and what are we going to benefit from that, to my dear friend, a very competent and a veteran trainer, TM Dr. Mahesh. Dr. Mahesh, over to you. May I first request DTM Afdal to please shed some insight to the audience about TM Dr. Mahesh background, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Salim, for conducting. I know you truly have 300 slides remaining, but you managed to share the essence of what the audience have to know. Thank you so much for your lovely presentation. Now ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our second segment of this webinar, which is to talk about the education programs of Toastmasters. Now before that, I would like you to post any question you have regarding our first segment. Please do post your questions to our Q&A, Salman Al-Tassan, so that he will share with the trainer, and we will have the Q&A session at the end of the second training. Now moving on to the second segment. The trainer, Dr. Mahesh, He is a great leader that we have seen. He has demonstrated his leadership. But more than that, he is the head of training and consultancy for SLC company in Riyadh, working in the health and safety industry in the Middle East for the last 20 years. I'm sure he came just for 2 years and then added the 0 at the end. Well, holds a PhD and 2 master's degree. Wow. Trainer qualification from OSHA Training Institute, Chicago and National Safety Council. Served as a resource person in various occupational health and safety conferences and seminars. An approved trainer for many internationally accepted safety qualifications. And he is the leader who is going to take over the leadership starting July 1st to lead a division which is called Division B. And he is currently also a president of the club, served a successful term. Please help me welcome to do the second segment of our webinar, Dr. Mahesh Pillai. Dr. Mahesh, over to you.
Thank you so much, DT Mafdal, for that generous introduction. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining. Before we start, let me share the presentation. So, education. That's one of the most important part in Toastmasters journey. And it's a critical aspect of all Toastmaster club meetings all over the world. And in Toastmasters, education program have been driven by 4 guiding principles. The first one is experimental learning. So in the club meetings, you will be providing the speeches, fulfill the leadership roles, you practice and improve. And the beauty of Toastmasters is peer feedback. When you're providing speeches, one of your the other member will be providing you a feedback. And the feedback in Toastmasters is a very positive feedback. In Toastmasters, we provide a feedback so that we motivate the speaker so that he'll be ready for the next speech. Whereas we can get such positive feedback, and also he'll share the areas of your improvement which you can apply in your next speech. So it's a very positive way of learning, very positive support by motivating the person. And you are not alone. You will have a mentor. And the mentor's role is to help you prepare your speeches and guide you throughout this educational program. So somebody will be there, a senior experienced person will be there to support you. And there is no time limit. It's a self-paced program. You can learn according to your comfort and your own space. Pathways is a new educational program of Toastmasters. It's very exciting and it's very interactive way to develop your skills. And people who join Toastmasters, they have different goals. Some of them want to be a public speaker. Some of them want to be expert in their presentations and all. Or some of them want to develop the team building skills. So Pathways have answer for all your needs. It's not just one program. You can select the program according to your need. So they have different or 300 unique competencies available and 11 specialized learning paths. I'll explain more about what learning paths. For example, you want to be a public speaker. You want to be a leader. You have path available. And you want to improve your team building skills. You have a special path available for that. So it's specialized, it's customized for the people's needs. And it's an online content. You can access the content from anywhere in the world. And it's real world transferable skills. Whatever you're learning in Toastmasters, you can transfer that learning to your job. For example, the presentation mastery. The person will learn how to develop the presentation, how to present it. The another one project is, it helped me is negotiating the best outcome. How to do better negotiations. And another beauty is it's available in different languages. It's available in Arabic, English, French, German, and a lot of other languages as well. Just watch a video about pathways to get more information. Second.
Hello, I'm Sally Newell-Cohen, Chief Operating Officer of Toastmasters International. I'll be sharing the story of Toastmasters Pathways learning experience with you. Formerly known as the Revitalized Education Program, Pathways is an evolution in the Toastmasters experience. It's an exciting, flexible, and interactive way to build your skills and help others in your club grow theirs. The story of Pathways began in 2010 when the Board of Directors identified areas for the organization to grow. One opportunity was the chance to make the current education program more modern so that it would better reflect real-world communication scenarios and be more in line with the powerful leadership lessons that one learns by participating in a club. Extensive research and analysis was performed by the Board of Directors and World Headquarters staff, because we wanted to understand why so few members were progressing through the current education program and what they wanted that would make it a more meaningful experience for them. Now, what began as a simple modernization of content grew when we began to envision how great this program could be for you. The timeline was adjusted to incorporate the new developments that we discovered in our research. And thousands of members have provided feedback in this process along the way, whether it was by participating in a program pilot or serving as a learning master or chief ambassador. Now, the choice of which skills you develop through Pathways is completely up to you, because the new program offers 10 different learning paths to choose from. There are more than 300 unique competencies and more than 60 competencies in each path, and you can use them directly in the real world. You can participate in the program completely in printed materials, as we do today, or online, which is far more robust, and it's the preference of thousands of members that we talked to based on the research we conducted. If you'd like to learn more about Pathways, watch the rest of the videos in this series and join me for an in-depth look at why the program changed, how it was developed, and how you will benefit from the Toastmasters Pathways learning experience.
Yes, the pathways. Before it was 10, later on 11 paths are available now, and they are dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor, innovative planning, leadership development, motivation strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, strategic relationship, team collaboration, and visionary communication. So each one is a separate part. So for example, if you want to manage a successful team, how to get the skills for that? You go to team collaboration. It gives you all the tools and tactics, how to manage your teams successfully. The presentation mastery. Most of the people I have met, they wanted to develop their presentation skills. They say, I'm afraid while standing in front of the people, My management asked me to give a presentation, but I don't know how to start, how to make a presentation, I don't know how to make it effectively. So this part will give you will sharpen your skills on presentation mastery. And the soft skills training, I'm also a soft skills trainer. The soft skill, what your employees require, you can get it from this 11 paths. It's not like one path you have to follow. You can select the path based on your need or your requirement. And each path is having 5 levels. In the first one, we master the fundamentals, that we learn the structure of public speech and all. Then second one, you're learning your style. The third one, increasing knowledge, is having more advanced project. And fourth one is having the building the skills on each path. The speeches and the projects you need to follow is different. And the fifth one will be demonstrating expertise. You need to go for more advanced level of speaking, and you'll be guided by a mentor all the time. You have any doubt, you can contact a mentor and preparing your speeches and all. So there will be somebody to guide you very positively to go through this experience, this learning experience, to gain the skill. And in each level, there are some required projects, there are some mandatory projects, and elective projects. So there are a total of 14 projects. So you need to give 14 speeches to complete 5 levels. There is 10 required and 4 elective projects. So each one, if you go to the Toastmasters website, the pathways, each speech, the criteria is given very clearly by Toastmasters International, how to prepare the speeches. It's a detailed explanation, and most of them include videos. So the person or the employee will know how to develop a particular speech, what are the points to be included. And for example, presentation mastery, why I'm saying presentation mastery, it's very important in organizations. How to develop the presentation. So after doing this path, I learned, even though I was doing presentations a lot, but I learned a lot of information, how to make effective presentation, how to make eye-catching, interesting presentation. So it's very clearly given in the Pathways website. And each project will be at least one speech. You have a lot of elective projects as well. You can select anyone according to your interest. It's not, so you have options available. So why Pathways is important? Because see, for me, I want to develop presentation mastery. For another person, he wanted to be a leader. Another person, he wanted to develop a team. So each one, what each person needs is available in Pathways, not just one type of education program. What your employees needs, what is their different goals, is available. It's personal, personalized training materials are available there. You can select according to your needs. An opportunity to develop many skills relevant to evolving global macro practice. As we said in the first, Dr. Salim said in the first session, whatever the soft skills your employees needs, it's available in Pathways. And whatever is required for the modern world, you can train your employees in a very cheap, cost-effective, and most important, interactive and interesting way. So training is sometimes boring, but this type of educational program, Pathways, is very interactive. Involve the employees so they learn a lot. And the positive feedback provided by the peer evaluator, that makes them motivate to come back to the next session. A new technological resources to improve speeches and support meeting rules. Now all the meetings are online because of the current pandemic. Now, Toastmasters International has provided us information also on how to set up the meetings, how to participate in the online meetings, how to set up the cameras. All the information you can see in the Toastmasters website. And online access to education material, that will help the employee to access the education materials from anywhere at their own pace. It's available. And also videos. And each path, I told you, each path, each project, there are video presentations, video training sessions, which help you, guide you how to mold, how to develop the speeches. And the Distinguished Toastmaster, this is the highest award in Toastmaster, an education award. It's not just an education. I'll say I'm a PhD holder. I said to become a Distinguished Toastmaster, you don't just have to do the education. You need to go through a lot of paths, a lot of volunteerism, hours of volunteerism, years of commitment. And you need to show or prove your ability in leadership and communication. Then only you will be able to achieve this level. So in PhD, you know that it's an educational highest award, but to be a Distinguished Toastmaster, we have to go more rigorous training and other things as well. How can you become a DT? You can see here, out of 11 paths, you need to go for like complete 2 paths. So 14, 14, 20, at least 28 speeches you need to complete. Then you need to be a club officer, a club president or a club vice president, educational or any role for at least 1 year. Then you need to be a district director, sorry, district officer. So district officer role includes an area director or a division director or the district roles. Or you can be a club mentor or a club coach. You need to support other clubs to grow, support a dying club to, or revive a dying club. Then you need to have a community service by being a club sponsor or conducting a speechcraft or conducting a youth leadership program. Then finally, you need to go for a DTM project. You need to show how you applied the skills and all you learned from the Toastmasters and developed or help another organization or utilize your skills to successfully manage a project. And all this, if you complete the education path, complete the leadership, and complete the community service and all, and finally you complete the DTM project, you will be awarded as the Distinguished Toastmaster Award, which is highest award in Toastmasters. And how does Toastmasters work? So everything in Toastmasters revolves around a club. And most of the club, they have 20 members, and they usually meet every week for an hour or two. And in the club, what are the club activities? What they'll be doing? So they'll be giving the prepared speeches. We discussed that each level there are 14 speeches. So each part there are 14 speeches. So they'll be giving the speeches they have practiced. And another thing is impromptu speeches. It's called the table topics. Question will be, or a topic will be given to a speaker, and he has to speak for at least 1 minute. Then, the most important is the feedback, the evaluation, which is given in a very, very positive way. As I told before, it will be given in a way that the speaker will be motivated to come for the next session. So in training session, normally the companies have to force their employees to go for that. But here, that's the difference in Toastmasters. Because of the positive environment in Toastmaster meetings, the club member will be motivated to go for the next meeting, because he will be getting a very, very positive feedback, which I have not seen anywhere. And an opportunity to take club leadership position. It's very important. Club president, vice president education, who manage the education activities, or a membership, who vice president membership. So he will be able to take the leadership position, and that will also be a training as a leader. It's an interactive learning environment. We interact with the people, and the online sessions and the pathways experience is very interactive. And the most important thing is the access to the mentor. The person you're not alone in a club. Somebody is there to support you. You can always approach your mentor. You have to approach your mentor before you prepare your speeches, because he will guide you, he will support you. And after completing your speech, you can check with your mentor, is it correct? Is it fulfilled with the criteria? So there is somebody to guide you very positively, so that you complete your educational path. And each one, there is club meeting rules. For example, one of the important things is a grammarian. So the grammarian's role is to check the good and wrong usage of English language or the language uses. And finally, he will provide the report. So he will provide a positive report. So that also helps to get the communication skills and the meeting rules. That also increases your listening skills. For example, grammarian role, he need to listen from the beginning till the end to check whether there is any, what is a good usage and wrong usage of the language. So it increases the listening skills as well of the employees. So let's see how a club works.
Hello, I'm Stacy. Thanks for visiting Toastmasters International, where more than 4 million people have become more confident speakers and leaders. They did so by visiting a Toastmasters club in their company or community. When you visit a club, you'll find 3 things. Members give speeches, they take on meeting roles, and they have a great time learning. There's no designated teacher in a Toastmasters meeting. Instead, much of the learning happens by doing a particular task, such as giving a formal speech or fulfilling a particular meeting role. Ready to visit a club? It's free, and you can find one near you on the Toastmasters website at www.toastmasters.org. The purpose of the meeting roles is to help the members improve their speaking and leadership skills by providing feedback and evaluation. There are 7 different meeting roles: Toastmaster of the Day, Awe Counter, Grammarian, Timer, Evaluator, Table Topics Master, and General Evaluator. Every meeting is started by the club president, who introduces the Toastmaster of the Day. The Toastmaster of the Day is the host of the meeting. Fulfilling this role is great practice for leading meetings. The Toastmaster begins by introducing people who will fill other meeting roles for the day. He or she acts like an MC and keeps the meeting flowing smoothly and on time. Many clubs use an awe counter to document the number of filler words members use while speaking. At the end of each meeting, the awe counter reports how many ahs, and other similar words each speaker used. This helps members become more aware of unintended words or sounds they make when they speak. The grammarian helps members expand their vocabularies. One of the grammarian's duties is to provide a word of the day and its definition. If a member uses the word of the day or says something well, the grammarian calls attention to it. As the name implies, the timer records the exact length of each speech. He or she also uses timing lights to help speakers stay within their allocated time limits. The General Evaluator takes notes throughout the meeting and reports back to everyone, giving specific feedback on how well the meeting flowed and also on how future meetings might be improved. The General Evaluator also calls for reports by the awe counter, grammarian, and timer. In every club meeting, there are at least 2 members who present speeches. These speakers don't just stand up and start talking. They use the guidelines in their designated education manuals to prepare their presentations and reach the objectives for each speech. Every speaker who has prepared speeches in advance enjoys one of Toastmasters' greatest benefits: evaluation. Think of it as having a friend watch you practice a speech and then give you helpful feedback. The speaker usually meets with an evaluator before the meeting and asks the evaluator to pay attention to certain aspects of the talk. After all the speeches are done, the evaluators present their feedback in front of the club, covering areas such as, did the speakers use their hands to gesture well? Did they control their voices throughout the speeches? What did they do especially well, and what are some ideas for improvement? In addition to prepared speeches, a few minutes are set aside for table topics. This is often the most challenging, but also the most fun part of our meetings. During table topics, a series of questions or speaking topics are presented, and members are selected to respond on the spot. This is excellent training for those situations that come up in everyone's lives, where we have to think fast and say just the right thing. It might be a job interview, a sales meeting, or a dinner conversation. Table topics are great for practicing and honing the skills of impromptu speaking. Now that all the reports have been made, the president calls the meeting to a close. Everyone joins Toastmasters with a personal goal. Maybe it's a goal to become a more competent presenter, or learn how to run a meeting, or think faster on your feet. Whatever it is, you can achieve your goal if you participate. So, what's your goal? For more information on the club experience, please visit a Toastmasters club. To learn more about how you can become a better speaker and leader, visit www.toastmasters.org. To find a Toastmasters meeting near you, visit the Find a Club section at www.toastmasters.org. Hello.
So what's the advantage of sponsoring a club in your workplace? It's the most cost-effective way to develop, enhance, and retrain your staff. Dr. Salim has already told you the charges he charged for the soft skills training, but the Toastmasters course, club's course, is much, much cheaper than you spend on a soft skills training. And employees will be more confident. They'll be able to speak more confidently in front of the clients and executive, and also it helps to develop a sense of team building, or it makes everybody feel or a sense of friendship across the departments. And it's a smart economic way to train your staff. You spend thousands of dollars for training your staff, but Toastmasters gives you the cheap and the best way of training. And by this, starting a Toastmasters clubs in your organization, you will save money and you train your employees and you give them real life skills, which they will be able to manage their jobs in a much better and professional way. And with this, I'll hand over the session to DT Mathur.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mahesh, and also to Dr. Salim Hakim for that wonderful presentation. There you go, audience. You have heard what Toastmasters can do for you, your organization, your employees. Now let's quickly get to some questions that has been posed already. Now I have a question here. Now our two trainers will be answering these questions. I invite any of the trainers to answer these questions. The first question is the session will be available in YouTube? If you are referring to this particular training program, yes, it will be, the link will be shared, the recordings will be shared to you via email, and also it will be posted in our channels. The second question, I would like to pose this to Dr. Salim. How do the new members get these 300 competencies mentioned in the presentation? I would like to pose this question to Dr. Mahesh, who did the Pathways Learning Experience segment. How do the new members get these 300 computers mentioned in the presentation?
Well, we have 11 parts. Naturally, each one is having 14 different speeches you need to complete, or 14 projects you need to complete. By completing the projects, and as I told you, it's very clearly the criteria, how to prepare it, what are the things to be followed. Very detailed explanation, including the video presentations, are available in the Pathways part of the TMI Toastmasters International website. So by practicing and joining the clubs, the members will get this 300 competencies.
Thank you, Dr. Mahesh. I believe, in short, if we say we learn by doing. Thank you, Dr. Mahesh. The next question goes to Dr. Salim. How to start a club? I mean, that's a very positive response. How to start a club? Dr. Salim, over to you. Dr. Salim. Dr. Mahesh, if you would like to answer that question.
Sorry,
yes,
yes, Dr. Salim, please.
I'm sorry, I just heard my name. I'm in two different meetings, but please go ahead. Can you ask me the question again?
Yeah, the question is how to start a club.
How to start a club? Very good question. Now, I don't want to dive into the paperwork because that's the easiest part, right? The most important part to start a club is to understand the needs of the members and the importance and the value of joining a club. Because see, paperwork, HR with finance can get it done. There are a couple of very easy forms to be filled. All you need is 20 members to start a club with, but that does not confirm sustainability. That does not converse a value to why we need a club. So I think the first and most important part any key learning and development or HR person needs to do is to run a couple of demo meetings of Toastmasters inside the corporation and invite everyone from the guest, and then allow a open conversation to perceive the value if how and what areas this Toastmasters is about to change in their capabilities and competencies. Once that's done, you will make sure that the members are in line with you, with your initiative of being of having a Toastmasters club, and then the rest of the documentation come. There are two important key factors here. One is what Toastmasters is going to do for you. Now, what Toastmasters basically does for you is it assigns sponsors and mentors for the club to help the club improve, build, and grow, and therefore prepare the leaders of the same company to take over the operation of the club. So that is a backup plan you will always going to have when you start a club. Another very, very important factor in a corporate club is that you need to make sure that the leaders, the top decision makers, are involved in the process, because this is what the entire experience of chartering a new club is all about. It's not telling the new graduates or the new interns or a mid-level or a juniors that you need communication, you need leadership. All of us require communication. All of us require leadership. So for a club to success, to get to be chartered and have success, number one, run demo meetings, understand the needs of your staff, and know that through this Toastmasters, they will perceive a value. Number two, get hold of the right people in Toastmasters. They will provide you with the support you need in terms of mentors and sponsors. Number three, make sure that the senior management level in the company are part of that Toastmaster journey to provide the motivation, to provide equal opportunity, and to create that healthy environment of learning process. Hope that answers the question. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Salim. I would like to inform that we have come to the end of the time limit for this event. However, I have shared the contact email address where you can get in touch for any further requirements, clarifications, or questions, or if you want to organize a demo meeting in your organization, or if you want us to come and discuss of forming a club in your organization to suit your environment, your nature. Believe me, Toastmasters has a standard structure, but it does not mean it is not flexible. So we can formulate a club and formulate the structure of the meetings to suit your organization. So if you need our support, if you need us to meet you and discuss further, please communicate to the email address shared with you on the chat box. While thanking both the trainers for spending their time with us, sharing the insights of Toastmasters while during their busy schedule, and I also thank all the participants for attending this event and making it a grand success, because your presence is what is important. And I hope and I believe that you all have learned what Toastmasters is about and what it can do to your organization, to you personally, and give us an opportunity to help you build your leadership by identifying the right leader in your organization. I thank you all for attending, and I would like to say that the event, this webinar, ends from here. Thank you so much and wish you good luck.